Well, it's 3:35 a.m. I've been up for about an hour or two. I can't really go back to sleep just yet, but I kind of feel like maybe doing a video talking about some things, getting things off my chest will help. Will help me kind of in going back to sleep. Um, it's been about a week or two, I think, since I've done my last video, and I've been having thoughts, mainly about thinking if I did the right decision to label my channel the way it did. Probably wasn't the best decision, but at the time, I wanted to make a channel name that didn't automatically brand me. Because when I first started my channel in 2015 as the Agnostic Libertarian, I did it as a sort of response to The Amazing Atheist. At the time, I didn't like the direction he was going, even though I was kind of going there myself. I guess you'd say I felt like he was selling out. But, so I made the channel originally in 2015, calling myself the Agnostic Libertarian, mostly the agnostic part, partly was out of appeasing my family because they're very religious, but also was my former roommate, who at the time, and well, not so much at the time, but a few years prior, he was going through a Catholic phase, and he did not like the fact I called myself an atheist. So I would call myself an agnostic to appease him. So I felt like even when I made my channel for the first time, I felt like I wasn't really being to my full potential because I felt like I labeled myself wrong. And I guess you could say that kind of ate away at me for years. It wasn't until 2019 when I started uploading videos 4 years after I first made my channel. The only reason why I didn't upload videos at the time was I didn't have a computer or a phone that had a camera, so a suitable enough camera. It wasn't until a few years after that I actually got my first iPhone or tablet phone. I was still using flip phones, yeah, and that pretty poor, but even by 2019, I wasn't the same as I was from like 2015. When I was wanting to make videos when I first started the channel, it was when I was still a Rand Paul Republican. But I was considering voting for Bernie Sanders in the 2016 presidential election. And then I started hanging out with some friends, not so much hanging out, but rather hanging out at work with some friends that were pretty far left. At that time, I considered myself an anarcho-capitalist, and we kind of went back and forth, anarcho-capitalism versus anarcho-socialism. And I was kind of taking an interest in, anarchism as a concept. So then I started going far left, even by the time I started uploading my channel. But I had in mind still trying to be as unbiased as possible when I was making my content. Like, I even defended mini AOC because I believe that people, making threats towards kids, regardless of, politics, was hitting below the belt. And over time with, especially with COVID and the George Floyd protests, there were things that were tugging away at me that I didn't really know where I really stand on stuff. I guess you could say I was feeling as like, because I I identified then, and I still to an extent identify now as a left-leaning libertarian. And then I was thinking, okay, where does it stop from being, supporting things that would generally be, left field libertarian to starting to get more into the authoritarian field of leftism. We can't talk about that because only right-wing people are authoritarian. But I know full well that, regardless if you're right or left, you can still be authoritarian or authoritarian supporting. So I think that's one of the reasons why I deleted my channel at the time in an attempt to rebrand, to kind of break away from that feeling, to first make a channel based on Max Stirner called I think it was not the Objectivist, but the Egoist. That was the channel name. And then I tried other channel names. And then I settled on this one as an attempt to kind of I don't want to brand myself politically. But I also feel like I kind of dug myself into a bit of a ditch. I think part of what makes people come to your channel is not just the content, but also is that people come to you when they're seeking something that fits with them. Like with my last video, I considered myself politically homeless. Boiling down my views, I still view myself as a libertarian, and I hate having to also clarify myself as a left libertarianism, because I'm a left-wing libertarian, but when you call yourself a libertarian without context, people think that you're automatically, a far-right libertarian. So there's that. But I'm getting comfortable also of calling myself an atheist. So I might do a rebrand soon, calling myself the Atheist Libertarian. I still like the Atomic Brain Fart channel name and everything I've done to work for that on Capwing. But I don't want to get rid of it. I don't know if I want to make that into an alternate channel just for shits and giggles, or what. But I guess you could say, if you got any ideas of how things should proceed, go ahead and leave them in the comments down below. So, and I normally would love to end my channel with, saying what my channel name is, but I'm gonna have some time to think about it. But have the happy rest of your night, and good night.